Buying a car today is very different than buying a house. When you go into a dealership to buy a car, regardless of how your credit is, regardless of whether you have any money down or not, as long as you basically have a pulse, you can buy a vehicle. And that's not the way it is when it comes to buying a house. A house today is becoming more of a privilege to own than it ever used to be. There was a time where you didn't have to have a down payment. Your legal fees were only about $1,000, and those things have highly escalated over the years. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about down payment today, because there seems to be this big misconception out there that you don't have to have a down payment to buy a house, and nothing could be any further from the truth. The government of Canada says you have to have at least a minimum down payment of 5% if you're buying a house under $500,000. And that down payment can come from various sources. It can come from your savings. Now, when I talk about savings, that savings cannot be a deposit that just mysteriously ends up in your bank account for $10,000. We have to have a paper trail due to anti-money laundering rules and regulations to show where that money is coming from. So you can't be selling dope, you can't be gambling, you can't be doing any other illegal activity and just doing large lump sum deposits into your bank account and use it to buy a home today. You can use your RSPs. You can, if you have really good credit, you can borrow your down payment, but that means you've now got a mortgage and you've got a side loan to cover the down payment, which you'll have two separate payments for. It cannot be added into your mortgage. You can sell something. Like I've recommended young people today sell some of their toys if they want a house bad enough. Which is more important, that ATV or buying a house. But at the end of the day, it is ultimately up to you. Mom and dad can gift that money to you. A gift, though, does have to come from an immediate family member. But you do require 5% down. Now let's talk a little bit about the closing costs. Closing costs have gone up quite a bit over the last year and a half because the land transfer tax in New Brunswick has doubled. So, we're seeing closing costs going anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 for a modest home today. And that's a lot of money on top of your 5% down. So put a savings plan in place. Talk to mom and dad, grandparents. If you're graduating from university, put your graduation money aside. But start that down payment if home ownership is a goal for you. And that way we can get you into a home. But you cannot come in and make a mortgage application and expect that you can get a mortgage with no money in the bank, or that I can create a down payment for you. I must get probably one call a week saying, well, you're a broker, you can create a down payment. I've heard there's ways that you can make a down payment appear. Wrong. Doesn't happen. Not in my office. That's constituting mortgage fraud, and I could lose my license if I entertained anything along those lines. So we do have to have a down payment of 5%. It has to be paper traceable. And your closing costs are a little more substantial today. So if you need help with putting a savings plan in place, give me a call, and we'll certainly work with you to get you there. All right. Have a great day, everybody.